The stars shone brightly against the vast blackness of space, but for Earth, danger loomed just beyond the horizon. An enormous fleet of the Galactic Empire, a powerful alien force, was moving closer. Their ships were sleek and intimidating, bristling with advanced weapons designed to wipe out any form of resistance. The air was thick with tension as the news spread across the globe. Earth was about to be invaded. Inside a hidden command center, high-tech screens flickered with images of the alien armada. The room buzzed with activity as military leaders, scientists, and soldiers prepared for the worst. General Ruiz stood at the center, his face grim. He addressed a crowd of anxious faces, his voice steady but filled with urgency. "We are facing a force that believes they can crush us without a second thought. But we are not just a planet to conquer, we are humanity. We fight for our homes, our families, and our future." Among the crowd was Captain Bonner, a seasoned soldier with a reputation for bravery and quick thinking. He could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on him. As the general spoke, Bonner's mind raced with thoughts of what was at stake. He had fought in battles before, but nothing like this. The thought of facing such an advanced enemy was daunting. However, he knew that surrender was not an option. They had to fight back, no matter the odds. Suddenly, an alert blared throughout the command center. Red lights flashed, and the atmosphere shifted from determination to urgency. "They're here!" someone shouted. The screen showed the alien ships deploying from their formation, launching smaller crafts toward Earth. The time for planning was over. The battle had begun. Captain Bonner took a deep breath, adrenaline pumping through his veins. "Prepare the defenses! Activate the cloaking devices on our ships. We'll surprise them with a counterattack!" His voice cut through the panic, rallying his team. Soldiers scrambled to their stations, weapons at the ready, as Bonner moved with purpose. The scene outside was chaos. The sky darkened as alien ships filled the atmosphere, blocking out the sun. Bright beams of energy shot down toward the ground, striking military bases and cities. Explosions rocked the earth, and the cries of people echoed in the distance. But amid the destruction, Bonner's heart surged with determination. They could not let fear take control, they had to stand their ground. As the alien forces advanced, Bonner's team prepared for their counterstrike. "Listen up," he called out, gathering his soldiers. "We may be outnumbered, but we have something they don't, the will to fight for our planet. We've trained for this moment, and now it's time to show them what humans are made of." The soldiers exchanged looks of resolve. They knew the risks, but they also understood the stakes. With their homes and loved ones under threat, they had to fight back. They were not just soldiers, they were protectors of humanity. Bonner's eyes narrowed as he watched the alien ships approach. He knew that every second counted. "Launch the drones! Engage cloaking!" he commanded, and the air filled with the sound of engines revving. As the drones took off, cloaked in their invisible shields, the humans prepared to strike. The first wave of alien ships was about to enter the atmosphere when Bonner's team activated their surprise attack. Explosions lit up the sky as drones emerged from their cloaking devices, firing at the unsuspecting enemy. For a brief moment, the tide seemed to shift and hope flickered in Bonner's heart. But as he watched the battle unfold, he knew this was just the beginning. The aliens would not give up easily. They had come to conquer, and they would fight with everything they had. Bonner clenched his fists, determined to lead his team to victory. "We will not back down!" he shouted, his voice ringing with conviction. "We will show them that humanity is stronger than they ever imagined." As the sounds of battle filled the air, Bonner and his team prepared to face the challenges ahead, ready to defend their planet and prove that the spirit of humanity could not be extinguished. The fight for Earth had just begun. As the sun began to rise over the horizon, casting a golden glow across the battlefield, the sky was filled with chaos. Alien ships descended upon Earth like dark clouds, their weapons charging and ready to unleash destruction. The air crackled with tension as Captain Bonner and his team prepared for the fight of their lives. Bonner stood at the front of the command center, watching the live feed from the battlefield. The screens displayed the chaotic scenes of war, soldiers scrambling, explosions lighting up the sky, and the terrifying silhouettes of the alien fleet looming overhead. They won't know what hit them, he thought, his determination growing stronger with each passing moment. "Drones deployed!" shouted a technician. Bonner nodded, feeling a surge of adrenaline. He could see the cloaked drones breaking away from their launch bays, darting into the sky. They were humanity's secret weapon, designed to attack the enemy while remaining invisible. "Let's give them a show," he yelled, his voice filled with confidence. The first wave of drones flew into action, swarming around the alien ships like angry bees. They unleashed a barrage of missiles, striking the hulls of the enemy vessels. Explosions erupted as the aliens struggled to respond. Bonner watched with satisfaction as one of the larger ships shook violently before breaking apart in a brilliant display of fire and metal. However, the enemy quickly regained control. The alien ships began firing back, their energy beams slicing through the air. A nearby drone exploded, sending debris flying in every direction. Bonner's heart raced as he realized the fight was far from over. The aliens were fierce, and they would not go down easily. "Stay focused," Bonner shouted to his team. "Keep firing! We can't let them regroup!" His voice cut through the noise of the battlefield. The soldiers around him nodded, their eyes filled with determination. They knew they had to fight not just for victory, but for their very survival. The ground shook as the first wave of alien ground troops landed. They emerged from their ships, towering figures clad in advanced armor, weapons glowing ominously. Panic swept through some of the human soldiers, but Bonner quickly stepped forward. "We've trained for this! We know how to fight! Stay together," he called out, rallying his team. As the alien soldiers advanced, Bonner led his troops into battle. They fired their rifles, the sound echoing like thunder as bullets flew through the air. The first wave of aliens fell, their armor cracking under the force of the human weapons. But more were coming, and they were not retreating. "Fall back to the barricades," Bonner commanded. His team quickly repositioned, using the nearby structures for cover. The aliens charged forward, their weapons blazing. Bonner and his soldiers fought back fiercely, their spirits high despite the overwhelming odds. "Keep your heads down," shouted a soldier as an alien laser beam whizzed past them, scorching the ground. Bonner ducked behind a barricade, his heart pounding. He spotted a group of aliens trying to flank them, and he knew they had to act quickly. "Flank left," he shouted. "We need to cut them off." Bonner led a small team to the side, moving quickly and quietly. As they approached the alien soldiers, he signaled for them to stop. "On my mark," he whispered, his eyes fixed on the enemy. The moment was tense. They could feel the weight of the battle around them. "Now!" Bonner yelled, and they charged. The surprise attack caught the aliens off guard. Bonner and his team fought with all their might, using their training to outmaneuver the larger, stronger aliens. They fired their weapons, hitting targets with deadly accuracy. As the fight continued, Bonner noticed one alien soldier standing back, seemingly directing the others. This was their commander, and if they could take him out, it could shift the battle in their favor. "Cover me!" he shouted to his team as he sprinted toward the commander, dodging laser fire. The commander noticed Bonner approaching and began firing, but Bonner was faster. He ducked and rolled, closing the distance quickly. With one swift movement, he tackled the alien soldier to the ground, disarming him. The two struggled, but Bonner's determination was stronger. He pinned the alien down, catching his breath. "Let this be a lesson," Bonner said, looking directly into the commander's eyes. With that, he secured the alien's weapon and stood, feeling the rush of victory. Back at the command center, Bonner's team cheered. The tide was turning, and for the first time, hope flickered brightly in their hearts. They had fought bravely, pushing back against the might of the Galactic Empire, proving that humanity would not be easily defeated. As the battle raged on, Bonner felt a renewed sense of purpose. They were fighting not just for survival, but for the future of Earth itself. And with each passing moment, they were showing the universe that humans would never back down. The fight had just begun, and they were ready for whatever came next. The battle raged on, with explosions lighting up the sky and the ground shaking from the sheer force of the conflict. Captain Bonner stood amid the chaos, heart pounding, adrenaline coursing through his veins. They had faced the might of the Galactic Empire, and somehow they were still standing. But the fight was far from over. After taking down the alien commander, Bonner's team had gained momentum. They quickly regrouped and formed a tight defense around the command center. Soldiers shared hopeful glances, feeling the tide of battle beginning to shift. "We can do this," Bonner shouted, encouraging his team. "Let's keep pushing forward." As they reloaded their weapons, Bonner strategized. They needed to exploit their strengths against the advanced technology of the aliens. The drones they had deployed earlier had made a significant impact, but now it was time for a more coordinated attack. "We need to hit their ships from above," he said, rallying his troops. "If we can destroy their command ship, we can disrupt their entire operation." Bonner quickly sent out a message to other units in the area, organizing a joint attack. "This is our chance to show them what humanity is made of. Let's take out their command ship." The response was immediate. Every soldier felt the fire of determination igniting within them. The sky was filled with the sounds of drones as they flew back into action, cloaked and ready for surprise attacks. Bonner led his soldiers towards the closest available cover, waiting for the perfect moment. From their position, they could see the alien ships hovering above, the massive command ship standing out with its dark metallic surface. "Now!" Bonner shouted as the drones broke cover and launched a coordinated strike against the command ship. Missiles exploded against its surface, creating bright flashes of light that lit up the darkened sky. The aliens scrambled to respond, but Bonner's team was ready. They rushed forward using the confusion to their advantage. With weapons drawn, they charged toward the alien troops stationed near the command ship. The humans fought with all their might, unleashing their pent-up anger and fear in every shot. Bonner was at the forefront, leading his team with a fierce determination. He could see the aliens faltering, their superior technology failing to compensate for the human spirit that surged around him. "Flank them!" he commanded, pointing to the left. His team moved in unison, surrounding the alien soldiers. They had learned from their earlier encounters, now working together with a renewed sense of purpose. The aliens, once confident in their technological superiority, were now facing a relentless wave of humanity fighting for their survival. In the midst of the battle, Bonner spotted a group of civilians trapped in a nearby building, their faces pale with fear. His heart ached at the sight, and he knew he had to act. "I'll save them!" he yelled to his team. "Cover me!" Without waiting for a response, he dashed toward the building. The air crackled with energy as alien shots whizzed by, but Bonner was determined. He ducked and weaved, his instincts taking over. As he reached the door, he kicked it open, revealing frightened faces staring back at him. "Come with me," Bonner urged, waving them forward. He quickly led the group back outside, shielding them as they moved. "Stay close! We're getting out of here!" As they made their way back to safety, Bonner felt a surge of hope. The civilian's eyes shone with gratitude, and he knew that he was fighting for something greater than himself. The stakes were higher than he had ever imagined, and he would do everything in his power to protect them. Meanwhile, the battle continued to rage, and Bonner's team pushed forward. They had gained significant ground, the aliens starting to retreat under the relentless pressure of the human forces. With each fallen alien, the confidence of Bonner's team grew stronger. They had proven that they could fight back, that they were not just easy targets. As they neared the command ship, Bonner could see the alien leaders trying to regroup. "This is it!" he yelled to his team. "Let's finish what we started. For Earth!" They charged, firing their weapons with renewed energy. The aliens, realizing their defeat was imminent, began to panic. Bonner could see fear in their eyes, an emotion that had once been foreign to him. The tide had truly turned. With one final push, they reached the base of the command ship. The energy beams from the ship's defenses flashed around them, but Bonner and his team pressed on, refusing to back down. "Together!" he shouted, and they launched an all-out assault. As the energy beams began to falter, Bonner felt a surge of triumph. They were proving to the universe that humanity could fight back, that they would not be subjugated. With one last explosive strike, the command ship erupted in a fiery explosion, lighting up the sky with a brilliant display. Cheers erupted from Bonner's team as they watched the alien ship crumble. The tide had indeed turned, and the fight for Earth was theirs to win. In that moment, Bonner knew they had sent a message to the Galactic Empire: humanity would not be crushed without a fight. The battle was far from over, but now they had hope. They had a chance to reclaim their planet and show the universe the strength of humanity. The air was thick with smoke and the smell of burnt metal as Captain Bonner and his team stood victorious after their intense battle against the Galactic Empire. They had taken down the enemy command ship, and the aliens were in disarray. However, Bonner knew that the fight was far from over. The remaining alien forces were regrouping, and they would not give up easily. "Get ready! They're going to retaliate!" Bonner shouted to his soldiers. The remaining alien ships were now circling overhead, their ominous shapes blocking out the sun. The tension in the air was palpable as everyone prepared for the inevitable counterattack. Bonner's heart raced. He could feel the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. He had to protect his team and the civilians they had rescued. As the alien ships began to descend, Bonner gathered his team. "We've fought hard, and we've shown them what we're capable of," he said, his voice steady. "But this is it. We need to stay united and fight with everything we have. For Earth!" His team cheered, their spirits lifted by his words. They readied their weapons, adrenaline pumping through their veins. The sky darkened further as the alien ships opened fire, launching a barrage of energy blasts towards the ground. "Take cover!" Bonner yelled, and everyone scrambled for protection behind the rubble of the destroyed command ship.